I bleached my beard.
Oh, cool.
And then, because it's not going to make sense to do it during game, I'm going to dye it afterwards a deep red to match the hair for my wig for my costume tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
I'll be submitting a late entry. I think I posted a picture a little while ago. Not today, I mean like maybe a week or two.
I don't recall, I'm sorry. Goldfish memory.
It's fine.
Was it something awesome?
I will be submitting my late entry for the Transmog contest, spooky version, tomorrow. Okay. Hope you all enjoy.
I'm sorry to say, but Zato's won that one already.
You might have to reconsider.
I'm against it, just because if you take first place
on it, and if Basics decides yours is better, Basics will pay you out.
I was about to say, since if you take first, that means I'm gonna get knocked out of third, which means I have to pay back my money, and I don't want to do that.
Because it's already spent.
I already spent it.
All right. So let's do recap, because I don't remember exactly where we were, and
we're training with the soldiers.
All of it. So
we're showing them our experiences with the fishmen.
Yeah. So after the battle on the beach, you guys helped bury the dead and participated in a paper lantern ceremony that was sort of repurposed from giving thanks to the harvest to honoring those who have fallen to the tsunami and the invading Piscine forces. Then you were met by Griffin Winters, the captain of the guard for the Queen of Pendilor, and he told you that many other coastal villages fell last night. This was the only one that managed to survive an attack from these unknown invaders. You were invited, air quotes, back to the castle to share your knowledge and information so they can better understand what's happening. There was a meeting with the Queen and her chief advisors. You guys shared all the information you had. They found a bizarre, a foreign, alien even, magical device that was damaged and seemingly inactive, but once you guys triggered it, it summoned a water elemental Myrmidon and some smaller forces that immediately aggressively attacked you. Defeating those, you then agreed to stay on the castle grounds while they debated what the next course of action was going to be, and asked you to volunteer your time teaching the captain of the guard and his men about the forces, any tactical vulnerabilities, what they could look out for, that sort of thing. Sparring against figment golems. I think we left off basically right there with you guys sparring, teaching the guardsmen what to expect, how to fight the enemy, and Kel and Alexis were going to peel off and check out the library. Is that what I understood?
Believe you were actually about to switch over to them when we left off.
I think we will start with them this evening, today. Did I miss anything else, anybody? I feel like my head is not sound tonight.
That sounds good to me. We've
that's basically what I remember.
One troop, right? Like a smaller fishman, we already killed them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bigger brute that I think it was Reed who sent it out.
Yeah, you guys had wanted to do another like Goliath encounter just to show them what exists out there.
We didn't get a chance to do it just yet.
Mm-hmm. We'll go to the library first because Alexis and Kel have been waiting a little bit for their turn.
Oh, and you also promised us each 1,000 gold for excellent play experience.
That sounds right.
I mean, that definitely sounds like something I would do. So
I know that you.
I have no reason to believe
you're
you.
A little foggy.
I think you have the numbers off. It was only like 950.
Oh well, yeah, that makes more sense, and that's a believable number. 1,000 seemed entirely conflated and unreasonable, but
yeah,
950, no one could make that number up.
Exactly.
953. I was about to say 953, so
see, there you go.
let's let's just do it this way. You guys will just have to be patient for a moment.
Yay!
Give me just 1 second, fellers. We're gonna do this.
Oh, with our new gold, I'm gonna go and find some magic armor.
Good luck. 30 gold.
I was promised 1,000. I don't know why you only got 30.
Kel and Alexis, do you guys intend to sort of arrive together, or are you staggering on purpose, or are you just... Is this a cooperative venture? Should I introduce you both at the same time, or shall we narrate this separately?
It could be either or.
Yeah, I don't really mind either way.
Okay. Let's just say that you guys, the pair of you, realized you were walking in basically the same direction at the same time. Made some small talk on the way, discovered you both had the library in mind. Maybe you're not willing to share your ultimate end goal or reasons for journeying here, but the castle is immense, and there are multiple wings and elaborate halls beyond them. You are traveling through these very cold, wide, sort of breezy stone hallways. The sun is just set, so you've got this kind of dusk light peeking through some of the windows. And you can smell like the dry, dusty paper parchment that makes up the books that constitute this whole massive library. You can smell it long before you can see it. And as you enter the old library, the chill of the stone hallways fades away as an ambient warmth seems to fill this entire space. There are massive bookcases lining every wall from floor to ceiling, and at the center of the room there are a cozy pair of reading chairs and a small table. Hunched over in the left chair is a small, crooked man with a long gray and white beard, spectacles down to the end of his nose. A broad tome lays open across his belly, rising and falling with each snoring breath. Comforts him like a blanket. Before you can say anything, as though signaled through some unseen device, the old man's left eye flashes open quickly. As you approach, he sits upright, sort of dusting his stomach off, almost like wiping away crumbs that aren't there.
I feel like it's the proper use of an alarm spell. Hello.
Hello, sir. How fares you this fine afternoon?
Slowly, like bone creakingly, it looks like it takes an effort of will just to sit upright in the chair. Good evening. What brings you to my library?
I was hoping to do some research, if it's okay with you.
Looking to peruse the wares, as it were.
He gestures, both hands like spreading wide, displaying the massive array of books, multiple levels, every wall, floor to ceiling. There is much to learn here.
Do you happen to have a cross-reference so I can find my way around?
He puts his spectacles from off the tip of his nose to the bridge and stares at you almost like with this feeling of consternation. The only cross-reference I've ever needed is here, tapping the side of his temple. If you tell me the subject matter you wish to become educated upon, I can direct you.
Oh, this is gonna get weird real fast.
Before he does anything, do you have any books pertaining to the deity Umbreon and the like?
He gestures to well behind him. There's a dog leg in the hallway that makes like an L beyond the hearth in the seating area. He's pointing to beyond that way, and seems like in his mind he has given you ample instruction as to where you need to go.
Could you be a bit more specific?
He looks you up and down. What are they teaching young mages these days if they can't even muster a small location charm? He takes these like gnarled bony knuckles that actually crack several times as he's trying to gesture, It takes him forever, but you realize they are the somatic components of a spell. And this small, ghostly specter of a toad appears on the book that he was reading, leaps onto the ground, ribbit, 2 or 3 times at you, and then it starts taking off in the direction that he had pointed, the insinuation being that you should follow it.
I bow before him, say thank you, and then follow the toad.
Follow the yellow brick toad.
Oh, it's gonna be real weird. I have a matter of some delicacy. I had something very weird happen with my magic. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for it.
And you hear Alexis yell, "Yo, same."
Just speak plainly.
I explain what happened with the witch bolt to this archivist.
He takes the story in, listening very attentively. Like, moments of it seem to pique his interest. Sometimes he wanes to a point of almost being asleep, where you like pause for a minute just to make sure he hasn't literally just died standing there. But when all's said and done, he sort of nods at you, almost like in this small bit of disapproval. Such foul magic's dangerous for you to play with. He turns his back to you with his hands in his robes, walking towards a section of the library that there's dust on the floor, silt all over the books. This is obviously not a frequently accessed area. There are several leather-bound tomes that look almost sinister. Some of these books are bound in animal's flesh, and you're not entirely sure what kind of animal.
It's probably best not to ask.
He spends some time thumbing through a couple of them, and he just starts kind of talking to himself out loud. You sit there uneasy, like you're not sure if you're a part of the conversation, if you're supposed to be agreeing with or correcting him. But it doesn't feel uncomfortable, so you're just gonna, at the moment, I think, maybe just let him do his thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit and listen. I'm sure he is more knowledgeable in this than I am.
Puts that one down, grabs a second just massive tome. This one has black leather binding and some iron clasps that hold it shut. He has difficulty struggling to undo the latch, at one point even turning it to you for you to undo it.
I help him undo the book.
He nods. Thank you. Just flaying this tome open, just like a poof of dust and detritus fills the air. And he just spends more time sort of thumbing through things. Like, he seems to be speed reading it. He's either read this before and knows it very well, or has some kind of almost superhuman gift for being able to read quickly. And he just starts muttering to himself. Yes, dead, yet alive. He smiles at you. That could describe me. He then turns to you and shows you this picture of a ghastly man. It looks like a healthy zombie. Just pallid skin, tight muscles that are just clearly visible through dehydrated skin. He taps on the page and says, "It seems to me you're discussing a revenant." Revenant. Ants. I love those creatures. Did you know that an ant can lift over 20 times the weight of its own body? Miraculous. They breathe through their skin, did you know?
I did.
I'm sorry, what were we discussing?
Revenants.
Revenants, yes. It seems to me this incident you're referring to involves the unintended creation of a revenant.
Does this happen normally? Or
No.
what would cause this?
necromantic magics dealing with the forces of death are unpredictable sometimes. You'll find that your creation is neither living nor dead. He will not rot, nor will he ever age. He's bound by a force no longer controlled by life or death. A revenant draws its power from one thing, a singular motivation.
And that is?
Revenants are driven by vengeance. Something truly horrible happened to your young friend, and when the necromantic effects of your witch's bolt, you say, lashed out at him, it gave him all he needed to rise again to fulfill one last purpose. He sort of closes the book. He was like, you can tell he was hoping for like more of a applause or amazing or adulation, some kind of like a recognition of his true genius.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Why would my spells cause necromantic energy, though?
That is a question you must ask of yourself.
Oh.
Hey, Grandpa, I think these books are out of order.
He stammers for a moment. You're smart. You're streetwise, if not book smart. You can tell that he's obviously had very little dealings with the necromancy school of magic. Maybe because of his proximity to King Rupert and then Queen Gwendolyn. But the prevailing takeaway is that necromancy by its very nature tends to be a bit unpredictable, but he thinks that the fault lies more with something that you did or caused, or something that is innate to you, rather than the spell specifically.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I feel like that's probably the best I'm gonna get, unless I'm allowed to just kind of rifle around in this area and investigate. I had a few other things, but I figure Alexis should have a turn.
Sure.
With what he's doing.
Goes back to his reading chair. My library is open to you. Please, explore. Alexis, as the old librarian disappeared with Kel to discuss matters privately, you can hear his voice get excited at certain points. You can't quite hear the discussion, other than there are moments where you can almost hear the old man's smile echoing through this massive library. And what were you looking for?
Book says to explain what happened with the book that I read, and seeing if there might be another version of that tome here.
As you follow the frog that then sort of just discorporates, bursts into 100 little starbursts, and then quickly vanishes when it's taking you to the section that Erasmus directed it to. You're still not, it's not 100% clear to you that this is exactly the right spot.
Hence why I yelled a second ago, hey, old man, I think the books are out of order.
Yes. There's no Dewey Decimal System. The ordering here seems to make sense to him and him alone.
Which peeves me as a person who used to work in a library and was like totally used to a certain ordering system. So I'm like rifling through, expecting order.
Yeah, you're sort of, rifling's a great word. I imagine sort of like pitching books over your shoulder.
Exactly.
Knocking things off of shelves, being a little bit frustrated. The temperature in the room steadily and abruptly begins to climb until it's almost uncomfortably warm here. You hear a soft voice over your shoulder, a feminine voice. It's not as crazy as it seems.
I turn around abruptly and be like, what?
There's a slender woman with long, straight black hair standing behind you. She says his method, it's not as crazy as it seems.
Says you.
She nods.
I briefly mention, I guess, what I kind of am looking for. Very, very vague on the details, though.
She wants to know why you would be interested in that.
Very sheepishly, I guess. Get a little bit more in depth and kind of raise just a little bit of the sleeve of my arm, and be like, "Well, the book did this."
You can tell she's taking a moment to consider everything. She seems scholarly almost as she examines you. Takes a moment to compose her thoughts. I don't think you'll find anything like that here.
Well, that's dandy.
She's just waiting for you. There's this weird almost kinship between the two of you. There's something about her that feels almost familiar. And she's just kind of waiting for you to react. She's not threatening or imposing at all. It's almost like idle curiosity, like someone watching an experiment.
A little weirded out about her sudden interest in me. I'm just kind of like, so who are you again?
I am an apprentice here.
I see.
I keep Erasmus company, and I serve the Queen as she needs. My name is Amara Sorrow.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I feel like I've known you from somewhere.
Yeah, the name feels familiar to you. There's a bond of kinship between you. Perhaps another life.
Perhaps. So, what exactly do, and then I just kind of start small talk, I guess. I'm like, so exactly, how is that old man over there?
She goes on to tell you what an amazing and underappreciated genius he is. She tells you that when she first met him 12 years ago, she felt very much like you do, that he's a crazy old coot, a man whose brain is obviously addled with age, a person who's probably should be stepping down from his post. But over time, she came to truly appreciate the subtleties of his genius, and after a short stint as an adventurer, came back to study with him, to learn all that he had to offer. He was grateful for the company and to have a student.
Well, and so obviously at this point I would know she was a sorcerer too, correct?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Okay, so as I basically ask her, like, do you have any like tips or tricks? Because I'm like completely at a loss.
Tips and tricks for what? Being a sorcerer, being an adventurer, being a woman.
All of the above.
How are you a woman?
That's not what I mean. Maybe not the last one.
She tells you that the most important thing in your line of work is finding good friends and keeping them safe.
Well, I'm pretty bad at that, except for one. So I'll work on that.
She asks how much longer it's going to take you to talk about what's truly brought you here.
Keep pretty silent about that.
Okay. I'm gonna cut back to Kel then, unless you have more you'd like to do right now.
Not right now, no.
Okay. Kel, did you have something else that you wanted to talk to Erasmus about or discover in the library for yourself?
I wanted to talk to Erasmus about the elemental magic that we've encountered, specifically with the fishmen, as well as the water skin filled with very angry water.
You tell him as much of the story as you want to tell him, but he keeps stopping you like every half sentence to ask a qualifying question that you were literally just about to get to. It is the most upsetting conversation you've had in a long time. And you get through most of it, and he's just like gently stroking his long white beard. Fishmen, you say? How odd indeed. Did they smell funny? Fishy, even? Oh my. I don't get out of this library much, thank you. It does remind me of a story from my childhood, though. A friend of mine in school once asked, as a simple matter of preference, if it would be better to lie with a mermaid who was an enchanting woman above the waist and a cold-blooded fish below, or would it be more preferable if it were a merwoman with a bony fish up and a beautiful woman's below? Both have their merits, I suspect. But it's a moot discussion, as they don't exist outside of bedtime story and the occasional work of fiction. Besides, if they did, water-dwelling mammals need to insulate their bodies. Layers of tense blubber. Simply, mermaids would have to be very, very fat. Oh, right, fish people and magics, yes. Simply put, the magic you're discussing could not possibly exist. That level of control and dominance over a singular element is, well, remarkable.
I produce the very angry water skin.
He pokes it twice. When it doesn't react to his poking, but it does seem to be churning, he wants you to set it on the table and then, like, goes into full Bill Nye science mode, like gently turning it every, 25 degrees on the table, really
Yes.
inspecting it, holding it in his hand and weighing it. Have you opened it?
Erasmus librarian.
I have not opened it yet since I put it in there for fear that it will escape.
Oh, it is it alive?
It depends on what you describe as alive. It's clearly trying to get somewhere.
Certainly seems to. In a specific direction, if my observations are correct.
You are correct.
Has it communicated with you in any way?
I'm not.
Sounds, vibration, thought manipulation?
I'm assuming Cal has not experienced any of this,
You have
correct?
not, correct.
Okay. No, not at all.
Interesting. And they all did this, you said?
Yes, all of them.
Interesting. It seems to me as though you've created an unintentional compass. But rather than magnetic north, it finds the source of these things.
Yep, that's what I felt like I've made. I wonder just why it does this, though.
Perhaps everything of their creation is simply trying to go home. Or perhaps it's just angry about being kept in a sack.
It's probably a little bit of both. Do you, by any chance, have a more secure container for this? Or know of something that could?
He does that absent-minded thing where he, like, mid-sentence has turned his back to you and just starts walking towards the shelf, and you're in that awkward position of, like, did he hear me and this is part of what I was asking, or has he just totally gone on to the next thing?
I'm gonna follow along just in case he did.
He rummages through a bunch of stuff, eventually finding this small, looks like a footlocker chest that's been sitting on one of the library shelves. He opens it up, and there's this crude, sort of hammered iron locket that opens up. It used to be a reliquary to contain the bones of a sacred being. I don't have any sacred bones, but this might be an excellent housing for your compass.
Excellent. I accept the locket, and I assume Erasmus would be interested to see this, so I attempt to fill some of the water into the locket.
Okay. Is your intention to fully transfer, or just to do like half and half?
Half and half.
Okay.
I figure I can leave if Erasmus is interested in fiddling with the angry water some more. I can leave some of it with him, as I'm sure this is not a thing that he normally sees anymore or has seen ever. So it would be of intellectual curiosity.
One second. Let's have you make a just dexterity skill check to deftly try to funnel one into the other.
If I'm trying to do it so that like the water is in the direction it's trying to go and have the reliquary in that direction, so it at least can try and get it, will that help at all?
Yeah, I like that. That's smart. Let's do the roll with advantage.
Okay. So that's just straight dex.
Using its own nature against it is smart. Nice. Yeah, you're able to siphon about half of the water skin. It comes out in one like tenuous stream, much slower than on the beach you observe. Before it was very quick, almost like mercury. Now it's more like syrup, but just tendrils out slowly. You're able to catch, about half of its volume inside the iron locket, and as you clasp it shut, it has a sort of overlacing glass face, so you can actually observe the fluid through the locket.
Excellent.
And it just smudges up against that one side, pointing towards the direction of the ocean. And you close the water skin, and what's left in there is still trying to maneuver towards the sea.
Erasmus, can I trade you water skins? I have a feeling this would disagree with me.
You want to leave your water skin with him?
Yes.
Okay. He is happy to accept your water skin.
He doesn't happen to have a spare that does not.
Oh,
not
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The castle would be more than happy to furnish you with one.
I think that's it. I think all I'd want to do is go back to that section that had stuff on revenants and then see if there's anything more I can glean from that area.
Sure. Why don't you give me a investigation check while I ship back over to lab for a minute, and that'll help inform my decisions as to what you do and do not learn.
Okay.
That's pretty good. All right, Lav. I got your message. Do you have more to discuss with Amara?
Yes. I don't think I was being very. I was running around because I was trying to find something that I wanted to do here, and I couldn't think of it anymore. So I'm now kind of just doing improv here. But I was going to talk with Amara. I don't think earlier I didn't quite discussed what happened in the library. I'm going directly into detail, and that I need to look for something that might have been an idea as to what has caused this, or if there's anything broader on Umbron entirely in this library.
Give me just 1 second to consider this. She mulls it over. You can tell that she's maybe being not withholding, but reserved. Like, not that she has information that she's not willing to share, but she might have an inkling more than she's currently discussing with you. Almost like she's assessing you. In a measured, sort of almost instructional tone. She wants to know why you were reading the Tome of Umbron to begin with. Truly, only a damned or desperate person would do that.
Well, I heard the tome talking to me. It
The
whispered
book
into my
spoke
ear.
to you?
It whispered into my ear, yes. As weird as that sounds.
She wonders, does your family have a history of auditory hallucinations?
I wouldn't know.
And why wouldn't you know?
I never knew my family.
Something about that has, like, she was maintaining this kind of austere, very rigid, unemotional face, but when she hears the news that you're an orphan, that visage shatters for a moment, and she's you think it might feel like a poor little orphan, but you suspect it's deeper than that. She says perhaps we should speak to Erasmus about this. He surely knows more than I.
Well, if he knows more than you, maybe, then let's go have a chitty chat, I guess.
Yeah, you can tell she's uncomfortable with the whole arrangement. Like, there's almost like walking to the principal's office kind of vibe that you're getting from this. Like, she doesn't really want to have this conversation with him, but she walks you towards Erasmus, who's just sitting by the hearth reading a book, and she catches him up on what little bits of your life story she knows and has now shared, and he looks at you with, like, honestly, a look of disapproval. What you did was very unwise.
Well, wouldn't you believe it? I may have or may not have done it on purpose. I did not do it on purpose.
He says, Umbron is always working to confuse people, to steal them and their power, to manipulate them, and you made his job easier.
Fantastic.
Tell me, have you been marked?
More or less, maybe. And then I just kind of very, very sheepishly, I guess, because at that point, this is uncomfortable for me too, right? Raise up my my sleeve a little bit and be like, it goes up a little bit farther than just this.
He tells you, I will not speak any more of this. And sort of just like points out, this is the first time Amara's ever seen him dismiss someone from the library. She just kind of like, extends her arm at 90 degrees. Come, I guess we should leave. Erasmus sits down, visibly frustrated and upset with the interaction. Hold on.
I'm visibly upset with him, and I'm like, what do you mean, leave?
What I know is not for you to learn. You walk a dangerous and damned path. I'll not be a part of it.
And what if I didn't do it on purpose, man? What if I didn't do it on purpose, you old man?
Intent is irrelevant. What you've done could potentially have brought great evil into this world. Evil I've spent most of my life trying to keep at bay.
Well, I've done nothing evil myself.
We'll see how much longer that remains true.
And then I just kind of go, and then I follow Amara out.
At the edge of the entrance to the library, once you are well out of earshot of Erasmus, Amara steps 1 foot outside of the library so that her entire body is just beyond the threshold, and she invites you to step with her.
I follow.
She says, "He is my mentor, and I will not disobey him. But I feel you should research the prophecy of the Dusk Rose."
I pull out a piece of paper and I write that down so I can remember that.
And she says, "No doubt you're going to want to return to your friends pretty quickly here. I'm sorry that he's in such a foul mood. I have not seen him like this in years. I'm sorry that he's been so upset. I am not faithless of your intention or the perils that lie before you. And I feel a connection to you, something I can't put into words. But I suspect this is not the last time we'll see one another." She reaches her hand up to her neck and unclasps the cloak she's been wearing. It's a light silver and blue on the outside, but as she takes it off of her shoulder and drapes, you can see it's fiery red and emblazoned with sigils on the interior. As she does it, a wave of warmth sort of washes across the hallway. You feel very, very warm. And she offers it to you and says, "Wear this, and it will keep you safe, ensuring that we meet again."
So thank you. And I kind of take it and clasp it on, I guess.
Did that link okay?
I haven't seen anything.
Did anybody see anything?
I can.
I can.
I just see Pokemon.
I think my roll 20's been... Oh, there it goes. It's being slow.
Sweet clothes.
Nice.
And with that, she returns, stepping back into the library. You realize that Kel is still in the library doing some research.
I do. So I'm just going to want... Obviously, now, barred from my favorite place of any building. Kind of miffed about that. Decide to just wander the halls alone a little bit, just kind of looking around.
Okay. Let's go back to Kel real quick, and then we're going to jump ahead to the training stuff. So with your investigation, you spend an hour or so just perusing all the books in this area where Erasmus left you. It's frustrating because there's so much misinformation or conflicting information or accounts that don't seem to match up. There's so much lore on it, but none of it is like specifically clear. The things that most people tend to agree on is that if Opie really is a revenant, that all revenants seem to be driven to complete a specific task, that it is truly an act of willpower alone that keeps them in this limbo between life and death until that can be completed. But and they also agree that unlike zombies or skeletons or even the greater undead ghasts, vampires and such, he's not dead. He doesn't need sustenance or sleep. He won't age or decay. But conversely, he can't be conventionally healed, nor can he partake of food or water. Won't ever get drunk. Won't know love.
Okay. I think that's all I can do there for now. Besides, I can't really add any more spells to my spell book. So Kel will probably thank Erasmus for his time and go find Opie and try and figure out why Opie.
Okay. He gently shakes your hand goodbye. Like, you can tell people have maybe grabbed him too hard recently. His hands are a little bruised, as old men tend to, but as you leave, one last thing to consider. It is perhaps best if the fewest possible number of people know of your friend's birth. Not everyone in Pendilor is an enlightened intellectual, after all.
I'll keep that in mind, Erasmus. Thank you.
Good day.
Good day.
He returns to sleeping with his book. Back to the training camp. Reed and Leo and Kig and Jezza were going to summon one of the Piscine Goliaths.
Yes.
Get
Kig was there, but I don't think he wanted
that. Let's pull this up and have you guys roll initiative.
Is there a way to drag this into my character sheet, or do I have to just kind of just keep a notation of it?
I will help you with that.
Okay, John.
1 second, guys. Let me pull up. Alright. I'm gonna drag Cloak of Protection as the default item to your inventory. That should update your armor class and your saving throws. You will have to remember the warmth part.
Resistance cold. Okay.
And make a note, like, on your character sheet somewhere as well. Like, we have the handout, everyone will have access to that, but I will warn you ahead of time if you haven't learned for yourself already. I will try to cheat you out of that. Not because I'm mean or cruel, but just forgetful. So you have to, when we're dealing with cold, you'll have to be on top of me about it, because even though I made it, even though I gave it to you, I promise you I will forget it.
Okay, it's fair. I'd do the same thing, to be honest.
Yep. Like I said, not out of cruelty, just bandwidth. All right. Oh yes, I believe I go first. Leo, you're not looking very healthy.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm spiffy right now.
Oh yeah, sorry. Of course you'd be here. That's not you.
That was kind of me.
It was your character portrait, but not.
That's weird.
That was very strange. Not like the. It was the character portrait art, but not the token. I'm gonna grab you from the load screen and resize you. That should be better.
For a moment, Zaz was massive.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those like load-in glitches where you like pop in, you're T-posing, and you're like twice the size.
Yeah.
Same thing
So-
with
Asserting
Zertric.
dominance.
We'll have to make sure that your default tokens have gotten screwed up somewhere along the line. Sorry, guys. While you guys are summoning this Piscine Goliath, a familiar form sort of struggles to walk towards the rope bridge connecting the woods to the island. He's being propped up by the handmaiden Liza, who you can hear from here. Please just lie down. I will get palanquin bearers to take you wherever you wish to go, but please just settle. Your traveling companion and recent renter of the chrysalis cocoon has apparently emerged. Petrichor, not knowing much else about what's been going on, Liza has done her best to keep you sort of abreast of current events, but you presently see your friends being attacked by a giant 20-foot amphibious fist creature, kind of like a creature from the Black Lagoon on roids. If you'd like to roll initiative, you can participate.
Okay. Yeah.
Zaz, you roll initiative for me as well. Oh, you did.
I did. It just
Look.
it didn't go right because I'm still getting used to this.
What am I rolling?
Initiative, if you just select your character token in game at the end of the bridge there and look in the bottom left-hand corner of the Roll20, you should see a button called Initiative. As long as you have your character token selected and click Initiative, it should roll for you and then add that to the turn tracker.
Hey, Patricor, welcome back. You gonna help us out?
Maybe.
I don't know how to select my character.
Just primary mouse click on him.
Kig whispers over to Zaz. Who's that?
Yeah, I can't click it for some reason.
I don't know. I thought we were just carrying around a spider. Or something.
I got it. Okay.
No butterfly wings?
A spider or something.
There we go.
Does he still have some cocoon web in his hair?
A little bit, yeah, and like hard pieces of like almost looks like amber, like kind of just stuck to parts of his clothes and bare skin. He literally like must have just rolled out of the cocoon and came here. Okay, the vicious Goliath that you summoned, just assuming form from the memories of those that created and summoned it, it just viciously claws into Leo. Oh no. 2 hits. One of them is a crit. The first one does 11 points of slashing damage. The second one does 19 points of slashing damage. No rage, that's a total of 30.
Holy.
Oof.
And we're still using the critical, right?
Yes.
Sure.
I would
Where
hope so.
did I put that table?
I don't know if this is to be concerned or not, but I'm getting a weird delay on all the things popping up, like almost 10-20 seconds delay. So
Oh.
if
You might need
something,
to reload.
I already did that. So
Uh-oh.
if it keeps happening, I'm sorry if I'm like delayed in responding.
Better be sorry.
So I recently got a brand new computer that I'm still trying to get fully set up at home, but I don't know that I have our table here.
Uh-oh.
Give me just 1 second. Oh no, I did. I'm not a full-blown tart, just mostly. Alright. Alright, guys. This. Ooh, an 80 does not seem good.
That's not going to be good.
Oh no.
A pretty big
I
number.
might be dying here.
Your strike surprises your opponent. Your target is surprised until the end of their next turn.
I mean, I am pretty surprised it just took 30 points of damage.
Yeah.
That is a bit
Petrichor,
spooky.
you react next as this giant, looming, hulking figure just smashes poor Leo twice, literally pummeling a Leo-shaped hole into the ground, his fist pull back, just dripping the blood of your traveling companion, and it howls in glorious victory, trying to intimidate everyone else. What would you like to do?
So I see this happen, that he is hurt, and I would like to cast Healing Spirit in his
Nice.
location.
Can you link the spell for me? Because I don't remember the particulars.
Is it the little chat bubble?
Okay, at the start of its turn. Okay. And
I actually use it. Like, click on Healing Spirit.
No, when it's time to, at the beginning of his turn, we'll need you to roll healing.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a fun little placeholder for that real quick. Because you can move it around. How do you see it, your healing spirit?
You know what? We'll go with a little bit of wow, and it'll be a healing crane. So I'll see it in the shape of crane. Right, because it can be a beast or a fae.
Alright, that was your bonus action. While I search for this, is there an action you'd like to take or any additional movement?
Yes, actually. How far can I move again?
6 squares. That's gonna work for now.
Is that a top-down chicken?
It
Right
is
over
a top-down chicken.
I love it.
Get clucked.
I move a little bit closer to the party, but also try to stand closer to the back.
Okay.
And my memory is still fresh. That thing before the tidal wave where I wounded people. I'd like to not do that again, coming back from close to death.
Aw. I mean, you can heal him if you kill him. So you're done then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'll do that.
Okay. Leo, it seems appropriate. It's your turn now. At the beginning of your turn, you're going to get healing from the spirit chicken or the spirit crane that appeared beside you. This green, ethereal, just pure being of nature made manifest turns its head and sort of coos at you, and just tendrils of green energy begin wrapping around you, sort of lacing in and out of the wounds left by this horrible creature. And as it does, there's almost an anesthetic relief of pain temporarily as the wounds start to slowly close and heal. Do you want to roll healing, Cole, or do you want me to do that?
I just gotta click it, right?
I don't know. Some spells will roll damage and healing, and some don't. Let's give it a try.
Okay.
Hey, 5 points. So you go up to 9.
Feel slightly better. Appreciate it.
It's
Thank
just
you.
random.
I mean, that was like almost a 50% heal.
It's true.
Kinkulu, yeah.
I guess I'm gonna be pretty pissed off. I just got picked up and slammed into the ground a bunch of times. And so I'm gonna rage, and I'm just gonna like try to just kneecap this guy because I assume that's about where I come up to.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna cast Anger Management and debuff you.
Probably.
That's a hit. Are you going reckless?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Jack Nichols.
And then I guess I will shoot it. No one's close enough that I'll cause an attack of opportunity, won't I?
I don't understand.
I mean,
Elaborate.
if I wanted to move out of his range, like here.
Yeah, he gets to punch you.
Okay. Then I'll just stand here and grimace at him.
Nice.
Don't do it.
I'm not scared of you. Ow.
It's just a
Alright.
flesh wound.
King
As
sword.
I'm coughing up blood.
I want to ask, are us kobolds are back in sunlight in this instance? Or is it still kinda
No,
like literally 'cause of
because
clouds?
it's evening. The sun had just set in the hallways when the kids went to the library, so
Sweet.
I would say you were not in direct sunlight.
Sweet. Well, I'm just gonna go in. Gonna try and be like a second bastion and help Leo from dying. I'm gonna use my short sword. Sneak attack. Hold on, let me character sheet up.
Dang, Kig short sword's coming out to play.
Yeah, this is gonna be double Kig sword evenings. It's a big deal. Because previously it was Kig the bow.
Kick
Or
the
Kig
bow,
hide from
kick the
danger.
trident.
Kig the spear,
Yeah.
Kig the trident.
All right. Ooh.
Hit.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. 16.
I run up him and slide it into his, like, I don't know, back or something. Center mass.
Back is very optimistic for a very small kobold, but I like it. You're
Yeah.
athletic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind of
totally.
as he bends his knee to try to stomp on Leo, you jump on his knee, leap over his shoulder, and just drag the dagger down the back of his neck, exposing raw muscle tissue. And at one point, you think you see chunks of spine now exposed. You know it's not real, but it's still kind of gross.
Cool.
Do you want to move any more?
No, I'm good.
All right. Zaz.
Hopefully hit me.
Well, this is why Zaz came here, not to fight things, but to help you guys. Oh gosh, there's blood everywhere. And he's just gonna crawl over right behind the manville and rub some cure wounds all over his back.
Keep your blood on the inside, please.
I appreciate it.
7 points of healing.
We're calling this a nice healing massage.
Ooh. Kinda, you feel my thumb on your lower back? Yeah, and he's gonna show you both hands.
Oh my god.
All right, Jezza.
Venti?
Mm-hmm. I agree. We could do that.
What
I
about
don't
that
know,
other?
Maybe
Hold on, it works better if I'm not muted. Okay.
That's true.
So I've just been kind of chilling
Mm-hmm.
on the side of the arena. I see Leo get slammed. I just kind of pull some of the candied bacon that I have left over from the port town out of my pocket. And I just start munching on it, even though it's old. And I'm like, steady on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoop his
Okay.
ass! Who are you rooting for?
Hit him with the chair.
I'm jacked.
I just kind of look up. You guys want some help? Or are you good?
I guess I'm gonna yell back and say, everything's under control. While
All
I'm still
right,
coughing
yeah.
up blood.
Coughing up.
Yeah.
blood, yeah.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna munch on my bacon and pass my turn.
Okay. Reed, you watched Leo get punched into the floor a couple of times. Friends got him back up, instilling him with curative magic so that he's not at death's doorstep anymore. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna join this little healing game here and help out with that.
Okay.
I love it.
7 plus your hit dice, so what, 4?
My hit dice is it 12?
No, you have 4 total hit die.
Oh, you're right. Correct.
Okay, so you
number of
get
dice.
11 additional points of healing.
Nice.
And then I'm going to move just within range here of the guy, and I'm going to spend 1 key point on patient defense so that I can dodge his next attack.
Okay. Feeling a bit cornered and overwhelmed, the Goliath will make 1 claw attack against each of you. So we'll start with Kig Sword. I think that's a
No.
miss. Leo. All
Okay.
reliable.
Whole reliable.
7 points of slashing becomes 3.
All right.
And I have disadvantage against Reed. Is that correct?
I don't know what dodge does, to be honest.
Yeah, disadvantage. 10 misses.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Then I'm
not
gonna
a
use
great
that.
round for me. Yeah, otherwise Well, I guess it would have still been a 10. The 19 would have been the second roll. But Petrichor, the rampaging Goliath, doesn't have a great round. Your team has swarmed him in pack tactics and start taking him apart. They seem to be moving with a level of precision you would not normally have attributed to them.
Really experience.
Okay. I'm seeing what I can use. Actually, I would like to help with one of my spirit totems. I think the bear. I would like to put it in their area.
What's the deal? You rolled up a druid so you can play a shaman?
Yes. So how would I go about doing that?
Everybody, what is the radius? Oh, did I go full robot mode or is that Cole?
No,
Cole.
it's cool.
It's Cole.
Yeah.
Radius of what?
I'm sure Cole is trying his best to answer, so I'm just
Uh, Can you hear me?
Little lag.
Intermittently at best.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you're really breaking up. Maybe type it.
I have the question. Am I still here?
You are
Yep.
still here.
Yeah.
Do I exist?
You do.
We'll look that up at some point down the road. Let's just assume 60 feet for now. That seems to be like par for the course for most radii. So that's every friendly or anybody you would like to designate gets 9 temporary hit points. Quick in-game rules refresher. Temporary hit points do not stack. You will only ever get the most superior version of temporary hit points, which is to say that if Cole is giving you 9 temporary hit points and then Zaz gives you 13 temporary hit points, you do not get 22 temporary hit points, you get 13. And they go away first, sort of like an absorb shield in WoW, rather than dipping into actual hit points. So if you have 9 temporary hit points and somebody hits you for 10, your temporary hit points go first, and then you take 1 point of actual damage. And if you can choose to remember it in your brain, or you can literally go beyond your maximum hit points by just typing the formula +9.
There
and
actually
your
is a
bubble.
box for temporary hit points.
There is.
Yeah.
So we all
Episode
have an
test.
extra 9 hit points at the moment.
And yeah, if I googled it up, within 60 feet of you, radius of 30 feet, 1 minute.
Nice. It's like 10 turn.
Yep. A lot of these are kind of like till end of combat, or you have bigger problems.
Pulled out the book. Feisty. Feisty's like, oh well, actually.
Well, actually, if you turn to page 30,
Yes, not by itself, Zell, but he took the feat healer, which lets him burn a charge once per rest to heal someone with a charge from the healer's kit.
Very nice.
Yeah, Cole, I love and hate this program. It's allowed me to play D&D with, for the last 10 years with friends in 3 different states, and it's been perfect for the pandemic, but it is far from comprehensive. It's absolutely not your fault. No, not even a little bit. So yes, summon the totem. Everybody's got 9. Are you happy where you are? You can move if you want to. Nice. Leo, it looks like it's your turn.
All right, gonna go with the try and true Manville hit.
Hit.
Nice.
And then I forgot he now has ancestral protectors on him.
Oh, your taunters.
Yeah, my taunters.
It is handy. And I assume you're going to stay where you are.
Yes.
Kig, it is your turn.
Cool. Hope this hits. Yes. So I'm still like hanging from him with my sword
Mhm.
like in his back, and then I take my dagger out from my pocket and I just jab him in the side
Nice.
for another 15 damage.
That's pretty good. It's reliable damage at least. I don't know where your kidney is, but it's somewhere around here, 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 or here.
That in several places.
I'll take it. I like it.
Just poking him. Rearing back and roaring, the creature's taking 2 steps. There are portions where like some of the blood is like pumping out in such like arterial sprays that in between the pumps you can actually see the figment golem beneath the fleshy exterior of this creature, like you've almost damaged him so much that you've defeated the illusion. Zaz, it's your turn.
Everybody seems to be doing well, and magic is expensive. So I'm going to carefully walk up to my 2 best friends and cast Toll the Dead. And I feel like every time I do this, it goes a different way. But I'm going to click this button, and that happened.
Nice.
All right, cool.
All right.
It's not even what I was hoping for, but whatever.
One day we'll figure it out, Zel.
Were you trying to get it to roll damage?
No, because I think you have to do your wisdom save first.
Seems fair. I accept this problem.
I mean, in a perfect world, it would do all of that, but
I feel like 15 is not bad, especially since I have a +1 only.
yeah, I think if it's right, you only did a 12.
That
Oh,
doesn't
no,
seem right.
yeah.
Is your wisdom only a 14?
Dude, my stats are pretty garbo.
Oh no.
Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, you need one more to get the +3. Okay, yeah. He saves, so no damage from Toll. The
Yep.
spectral bell that sounds like pealing thunder rings through the air, but other than drawing the attention of some of the errant guards, it doesn't seem to have much of an effect. Jezza, your turn. Your teammates seem to have this thing basically on the ropes. Candied bacon time, or do you want to steal the kill?
Is there a rock or anything on the ground near me?
You could easily pry a piece up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a rock at the thing's head.
Okay.
Uh,
Treat it like if you have a thrown dagger or even like a longbow or a crossbow attack, the roll will be the same
okay.
because you're proficient in rocks.
Yeah.
as a
So
bowman.
roll 1d20 plus Dex.
Sure. Or like I
Yeah.
said, if you have crossbow or thrown dagger, you could literally just click that. Dagger would
I-
even be the same damage.
Don't believe I do.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Nope, that doesn't. Okay.
You can use the 1d20
Slash.
modifier.
Oh yeah. D20. Even with Dex modifier, that's not hitting.
Nope. You chuck the rock and it just like hits the creature right in the center of its breastplate, making this very loud metallic ting, which for like a moment gets everybody to stop. They all look at you, you kind of give them a playful little wave, and then the din of battle resumes and everyone starts killing each other once more.
I raise up my one hand. I'm helping.
Bacon's good though. Reed. Sensing the creature is
right.
on its last legs.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a swing at it with my quarterstaff.
Okay. Hit.
Nice.
11 points of bludgeoning is all you needed. Could have used the full staff, only needed the quarter. Do you want to narrate your kill?
Seeing that the creature is on his last leg, perhaps literally, I grab my quarterstaff and wind back as if to make a swing, and bring it down and slamming it over the creature as high as I can reach. So probably not its head, but over its kneecap. And with force, watch as the creature tumbles and slams its head painfully on the ground, and it bursts into water before reforming into the golem that it once was.
Nice. As the figment fades and the construct returns to its position, you can't help but smile as a small portion of its head remains cracked and damaged. You've done some
Excellent.
lasting damage. The assembled forces are both surprised and frustrated that such a powerful and large foe exists out there that they may have to one day contend with, and like impressed and not in a complimentary way that you guys had had this measure of success. Almost like I can't believe these are the heroes, because you don't. I mean, honestly, you're a ragtag group. Let's put it plainly. But
Totally.
you definitely demonstrated how and why Swinford was saved.
You're skilled. Rag.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And maybe being underestimated is actually better.
Maybe well better.
The healing totem will remain. So, Leo, as long as you stay within 30 feet of the chicken, you'll go back to full before it despawns.
Okay.
Well, it's got 8 more rounds at a d6 a round, so I don't want to do the math. Let's just say you'll get there.
That's roughly 48 points.
Yeah.
So I'll just put myself to full then.
Nice. Hug my chicken. Something wrong with the
Heal
translation
the
matrix.
heal.
It's not chicken, it's another word. What else do you people call a chicken?
Rooster.
A clucking good time.
Clucking good time.
Good lord.
It's late now in the evening. You supervise some of the soldiers sparring. You watch as Winters corrects their form. They take turns sparring with the Figment Golems as you guys kind of coach them through things you've learned about dealing with these enemies. Eventually, Liza returns and says, "The Queen and her council wish to speak with you again." And she nods to Winters, and he has everybody fall in line. They all take one gentle from the shoulder above kind of bow, and you guys are free to leave and follow Liza to the Queen's chambers again if you wish.
Yeah, we follow.
I just pick up and trot right along.
You guys meet up with Alexis and Kel, who were similarly summoned back to the Queen's chamber. Let me pull you guys over here just for ambiance.
Yes.
The same Willen, the master of spies here, waits beside the Queen. There's obviously an adversarial relationship that's been developing between all of you and him. Is that music too loud for anybody? It seems very loud to me.
No, it's
I
fine.
digging it.
turned mine down, my settings. So it's fine.
I have Roll20 muted, so
It's normal to me. It seems just
I currently had the Arc-tempered version of Elkana's music playing at the time, so
it's kind of relaxing.
She
yes. So that's it. Anyway, continue.
The Queen is wearing kind of like a furrowed brow. She seems burdened, stressed. And as soon as you appear, her mood lightens. She puts on like that face of the ruler again, where no one can see. No one sees you bleed, and welcomes you back and asks if the accommodations have been to your liking.
It's been quite delightful.
Okay,
Wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
it's been
Had my
pretty
sword
great.
and a big fish monster.
And she nods. And you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Slightly.
Reed definitely enjoyed himself.
I tell the queen that her troops are training along pretty nicely.
She says that she's been discussing matters, secrecy, statesman, statecraft kind of stuff with her council, and she asks if you are still willing to help her protect the people of Pendilor, if you're still willing to serve the crown.
If my new friends are willing, I will definitely be happy to join them in your service, Madame, Milady, Queen.
You need people of intelligence on this sort of mission, quest,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
thing.
Smarty pants.
And you have my axe, I guess, or something. Even though I don't have an axe.
Nice. She goes on to explain that the council that advises her cannot eliminate doubt in her mind that this attack could have in some way been orchestrated by the mages of Ether. It is an unlikely scenario, she says, sort of glowering at Willen, but it is not one I can conclusively exclude. They do control the ability to manipulate some elemental forces. They have been jealous of our trade situation. It's more than I can just dismiss out of hand, which brings me to the favor I must ask of each of you. You're the only ones with first-hand experience with these creatures and their magic. I wonder if you wouldn't be willing to investigate it for me. I understand at least one of you knows of the Athenium.
What's that?
The what?
I'm sorry, what?
She goes on to explain that the Athenium is the greatest repository of knowledge in all of Meridian. It is the accumulated knowledge of every major race on this planet for as long back as anybody's been keeping track of time. The scholars and sages that keep this lore live in Ethervale, in the flying city of Eros, but they are not beholden to anyone. They exclusively exist to pursue knowledge and to share that knowledge freely. It's how they've been able to remain neutral to all parties, is that anyone who asks will get their best advice, and everyone has, equal access to the knowledge and lore that they possess. While they live in a floating city, in the very region that the Queen suspects might be guilty of this tragedy, they themselves have no political affiliation. Since you have first-hand experience, what she would ask of you is to travel into Ethervale and gain access to the Athenium through contacts Willen assures me you already have, and ask them the nature of this magic and if it could possibly be Ethervalian in origin. Despite their location, they are not politically affiliated. They will answer you truthfully. She says that in 3 days after you leave, her and her retinue will also depart, because undoubtedly everyone on the continent will soon learn of the tsunami and the ensuing attacks. It's too big for her to contain. A tribunal will be called to discuss the matter and how best to proceed. She would love to be able to go into that meeting knowing the truth of the attack, whether or not the Ether Mages are responsible for it. Because you have no affiliation to the royal family of Pendilor, nor have any of you been in her service before, it is unlikely anyone would think to associate you with them. You would likely be able to move freely. You could find out the origins of this magic and see if there's any ties to the Ether Mages before the tribunal and give her that information. Would you be willing to do this for your queen and for all of Pendilor?
I am eager to pursue this adventure. However, I cannot find my way on my own.
Oh, I know the way.
Nice. Well done.
Kig is a little.
I
I feel
familiar.
like I've been there before.
Kig's a little reluctant though.
I think I've traveled around there a couple times.
live under there.
Petrichor, you'll come with me, right?
Can y'all hear me now better?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, I don't think I had met the queen before. I don't know if she's aware of this.
Oh, you've met
but,
her. You were just,
You were asleep.
I would like to ask if she had. But I would like to ask her. Still, the words burning in the back of his mind from his encounter during his slumber with a spirit. Does she know Alba Ilfrin? Has she ever heard that name before and make a reference to the mother?
She says that sounds elvish. Old elvish. Does
We've got an elf in the party.
The mother is something she's familiar with. She tells you that each of the great lands on Meridian are tied to an existential plane, that Pendilor itself is connected to the Feywild, and the mother is what the old druids called the governing power of the Feywild, a majestic force of life and creation. It is partly responsible for the growths of residuum that they harvest here that powers all of the Ethervalian technology.
So I go into a little bit more detail and I tell her this dryad woman coming to me in while I was slumbering, and tell her that she has pretty much given me the mission of restoring balance to what's going on. There is a lot of chaos and stuff that needs to be not there. Like,
She
balance must be restored pretty much
briefly,
and maintained.
Griffin shoots a glance
So
at the queen, and the queen
in essence, I'm agreeing to her request, as I assume this has something to do with what for me.
neat. Once you mention your connection to the mother and the dream that you had, Griffin looks at Queen Gwendolyn, who has started to tear up a little bit. She does her best to remain stoic and reserved, but a singular tear starts to stream down her right cheek. She quickly brushes it aside, chokes back, starts to speak twice, but can't quite get it out, and says, during the War of the Necromancer, her mother was charged with maintaining balance. She was chosen to be a champion of the Feywild against the interloping power of the Necromancer.
Jeez, Petrichor.
She's humbled to be in the presence of someone who was similarly selected, inferring that you must be a good person and that a great destiny lies before you. She would be very thankful to have you participate in this mission.
I agree. I will go on this mission for him.
If everybody's on board, then if you would like to spend the night here in the castle, we can do that. Or the queen tells you that she's already sent word to the library to have their sorcerer, come forward. She has the ability to manipulate space and time. She'll be able to open gateways for you between any of the Elderstone rings. So she can, if once you're ready, meet her at the Elderstone ring, and she'll be able to send you, 2,600 miles across Meridian to the nearest ring of Elderstones just outside of Aethervale's border.
That sounds
Yes
great.
and yes.
Yes.
I think we should take
That
Let's-
sounds like we
let's-
should sleep and reset, skill points, and then go do that. And then
Personally, I would like to check out the library as well to see if I can find anything.
You've been resting this whole time, so you don't really sleep, Petrichor.
Nice.
I don't really sleep anyway.
Okay.
I'm
If I see something in chat, but it's doesn't seem like it's coalesced into a definitive thought. Do we want to explore anything before we leave the Queen's chambers?
I require nothing.
I require spell
well.
slots.
Leo requires nothing.
I assume
Leo.
her mother was the queen before she was, right?
Her mother was married to King Ashburn. She never got a chance to rule, especially because she died in the War of the Necromancer very famously. She was the more beloved of the two parents. She was the pride of the nation, one of the most powerful priestesses in the region, and the exact nature of her death is unknown. King Ashburn never speaks of it, and no one else was alive. But she was like the Princess Diana of Pendilor. She was just universally loved, and her death was viewed as a national tragedy.
I think I would down and see just in case if there might be any
Oh, I don't know how to break this to you, but you're a robot again.
druidic symbols around or anything that
Or is it me?
No, it's Cole again.
Damn it.
Sadly.
I'm so sorry, Cole. I'm catching up on the chat.
Oh, good luck.
Yes, Cole, if you can hear me all right, I don't know if I sound like a robot to you just because you sound like a robot to us. We'll definitely, while everybody else is sleeping, you can check out the library. The remains were never recovered, so she doesn't have. There is a grave for her by the Ring of Elderstones, but it doesn't have her body in it. And the spell components of her life, her journal, her spell tome, would be in the library under Erasmus's keeping. So if you want to, you can check out the library while everybody else slumbers. Okay. If anybody wants to plead poverty, so far, Queen Gwendolyn has seemed to be very accommodating, very friendly, very giving.
I mean, I only have 1 gold, so some gold would be nice.
Framed in the perhaps we need like a per diem to carry out this mission, as we've not put 2 copper to rub together. Oh, of course, she says, motioning for the treasurer. He will fund this endeavor with 1,000 gold pieces. That should be more than enough for you to make the
Each?
trip and return. Total.
Damn.
Heck yeah.
And she says, once you are successful in your mission, perhaps we can talk about a grander reward.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Okay. You guys are going to go to sleep. I don't normally prefer to do this in game, but since it's the first time we're doing it together, I think we will. You guys have hit the milestone for level 5, so we'll be leveling up tonight together. Just because it's the first time, so if anybody's got like roll 20 mechanical questions or anything like that, we'll work through that right now. So if you guys want to get a start on that while I talk library stuff with Cole real quick.
And temporary hit points go away, yes?
Yes, they only last for 1 hour.
Do we want to
Awesome.
divide that gold evenly? Because I think that's 125 each.
Yeah, I don't know that we've talked about that. So I have some games where people like to keep like a communal fund that is like an equal share to like. So in this instance, it would just be an 8th party member. Some people like to put it all in a group fund and just kind of remove it, and then some people like just to always split it by the number of party members, and then that way everybody gets their own thing. You don't have to worry so much about
I like the
finances.
Communal fund. As
What was
I'm
it,
not
basics?
I like the communal fund as I'm not very familiar on what to even spend my gold with, so I still even have like 90 gold myself.
Same.
Yeah. Communal fund's fine with me.
So if we ever
Yeah,
go
okay.
to a town and we need to buy a grip of health pots or whatever, we can do that out of the communal fund and then split up the health pots that way.
I, as a wizard, will probably keep dipping into that to get more spells.
Well,
I, as a sorcerer, will keep dipping into that because even sorcerer spells that require reagents.
we have 1,000 gold. Probably more if we combine all of our gold too.
So,
You know how much a diamond costs?
A lot.
how much experience do we need to level up? For at
That is
2,700
a
so
good
far?
question. I want to say it's 3,400, but let me get a. No, it's 6,500. Excuse me, is the
Wow.
threshold for 5th level.
Goodness.
6,500. So if you put that in the XP thing, you should get the crossed weapons charactermancer icon, and then click that button, and the charactermancer should walk you through the rest.
6,500.
All right, Petrichor, you follow the instructions to get to the library that Kel and Alexis would have been able to provide you. You arrive to find all of the fires extinguished, the candles dimmed. You know that Amara, the executive librarian, had been called to the Elderstones to prepare a ritual of teleportation, and Erasmus is either not here or seems to have joined her, but you're free to wander the library. If you'd like to make an investigation check from your character sheet, that would be not dark enough that your elven eyes can't make things out.
My lord.
Petrichor is having a difficult time figuring out exactly how these books are ordered. It doesn't seem to conform to any logical reasoning you're familiar with. I mean, at one point, you think maybe the books are telling some kind of personal story, that these events are contextualized only in the frame of his own life experience. You're really not sure. You do eventually find a number of books discussing the Feywild, which is like if there is a place in the universe that is the purest expression of the natural world of beauty and life and abundance. It is the Feywilds. Being so close and connected here to Pendilor, that's why it is so beautiful, so vibrant. It's where the Elder Stones draw their power. It's where all of the druids and henge sorcerers of this region develop their magic from. It's basically the well spring from which everything flows. There are lots of references to the Mother being either another expression of the Feywild itself or perhaps some kind of governing entity. And in one book, she is referred to by a name, Titania. There's not much else to go on here, though, other than from time to time, the Mother, when balance is imbalanced, will often select a champion, someone to act on her behalf to help restore balance between facets of the natural world if something's out of whack. It seems as though you've been tapped to do this job.
Unrelated. I just put something in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh boy.
Shasa. Try it real quick. I put my experience to 3,400. How do I do the level up thing again on my character sheet?
Just change the XP total to 6500.
6500?
I believe that's what.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the button. Okay. Thank you.
Wait, there it is. So when I heard Titania, that's what came to my mind. Sorry.
I could do an extra attack now. Woo, woo.
Do you roll or do you average? How does that work?
It's up to you. And I won't conform. Like if one person chooses average, I'm not going to say everybody does. Rolling is it's going to literally just roll that die and you get what you get. Average will take, as you might guess, the average of what that die result would have been. So I think like an 8-sided die's average result is 5.
I think I'm going to do average just for the sheer fact of I don't have any HP and I want a good, you know.
Yeah, the average seems to work out for most people, but then you end up with these.
Alternatively, you could roll and get
I was gonna
get
say,
a max
you
die
can
and
be
get a 12.
Leo. Yeah,
It'd be amazing.
it's a mixed bag. My only advice or guiding principle is that the game's challenge rating system, as flawed as it is balanced around average. So the math is being done using average hit points, average armor class, and average die results for attack rolls. So I feel like if you take the average, you will never fall behind the power curve. You'll only ever meet it.
Right.
Where if you roll, sometimes you'll be ahead of it, but also sometimes you could end up with, fewer hit points than an encounter is designed for you to have, which can feel stupid sometimes.
Woo! I have more health than the wizard now.
Huzzah!
Nice.
Doesn't matter. I'm a monk. My AC is still pretty good, but like.
But the thing is, did you guys see my character sheet? I now have 69 HP.
Nice.
Yo, that's nice.
That's nice.
Oh, that's not good, Reed.
Oh, I was just doing a sample.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you look at it in your hand. That's interesting. Shoot it into your own face.
It burns! It burns!
Right.
It's like getting hit with a bolt from the sun.
All right, so I'm gonna have to get with you at some point, Try, because I do have darkness on here twice, but I can't remove darkness because darkness is a shadow magic mage spell, and so it's just being weird.
Let me pull up your character sheet. I'm gonna click. Oh, I can't. When you're done with your. So, at every level, you should be able to replace a spell. If you
I cannot, because it's grayed out because it's a part of my character class.
Right. So that I don't understand how you could have it twice. Then, I guess is my.
It's
question.
on my character sheet twice. I'll show you it too in a minute. Also, does it not say I can have a cantrip? I'm at 5/5.
Read in all the spells.
Yo, I got an extra +1 to my dex modifier somehow? I mean, cool. I just don't fully get where my dex stat didn't change.
Your deck shouldn't have changed with 1 level.
Yeah, it didn't. This was... Alright, whatever. I rolled average and that was what I got, so whatever.
Hey, Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart.
She's
See-
hanging out on top of my chair.
Oh,
I'm extremely conflicted here. On the one side, I could get mage armor and not die. Or I could get another level 3 spell. Or a level 3 spell in general.
Normally, I would tell you to always play defensively, but getting your first level 3 spell is a huge hallmark.
Yeah, really get your level 3 spells.
So the next level I'll get mage armor. Or I'll just never get mage armor.
Is there
Can
a
you-
way for sorcerers to get other spells, or it's only upon leveling?
It's
only upon
leveling.
leveling.
Yeah, they're innates. They're innate.
However,
Can you
mage
swap out a
armor,
spell?
mage armor, Mr. Wizard, can be cast on yourself and other things.
Yeah, but I'm not going to waste it on anyone else.
Sure.
Not even
Wow.
Leo?
Interesting
See,
planet
what we
Vito
could
needed.
do.
I guess I could waste on Leo.
Nice.
where it would actually be a true waste.
That would.
I don't even know what mage armor does, so.
Although with the cloak of protection, mage armor becomes less important because my base AC is 13 now. But
So-
it's also plus its
Yeah, I was gonna
dexterity
say,
modifier.
let's talk about that real quick because this is one of those areas of common misconception. There are many, many, many ways to arrive at your character's armor class, and there are lots of like the easiest thing to picture is naked. It's just your dexterity. You've got a dexterity of 12, then you have an AC of 11. You put on full plate armor, your dexterity just is set to the number 18 because the armor is too heavy for dex to be a factor. You put on some leather armor, it's base of 12 plus dexterity, so now your armor is 14. Then there are class features like the barbarian that lets you increase your armor by dexterity plus constitution modifier. Then there's the monk's version where he gets dexterity plus wisdom. Anyway, so there are, or mage armor, there are multiple possible ways to calculate your armor class. Each character will only ever get to apply one calculation. So you will always take the most favorable way to calculate your armor class. So in the aforementioned example, if Leo the Barbarian has a con of 18 and a dex of 18, those are each +4 modifiers. By Barbarian class calculation, his armor class is 18, 10 +4 +4. If you strap mage armor on him, a totally valid spell to cast, that calculation is base 13 plus dexterity modifier. Leo then chooses which calculation he wants to use to determine his character's armor class, but not both or a combination of either. Does that make sense?
That does
Yeah.
make sense.
Has anybody actually seen Lightning Bolt? Why does anybody take Fireball when you could just take Lightning Bolt?
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Have you seen this? A stroke of lightning forming a line of 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must take a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Unless you have
Holy shit.
spell shaping, you're gonna hit your party members too.
Yeah, it is a friendly fire scenario, and honestly, the
Well,
difference
so is Fireball,
is
by
like
the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to say single target versus AoE, but the lightning bolt is just a line, whereas something like Fireball does the same damage but to everything in a 20-foot radius.
Right.
which could be 8 to 10 creatures. Where like without a ton of deliberate battle map maneuvering, you're likely never going to get more than 1 or 2 creatures in a lightning bolt.
You're right. It just
But
seems like
I think it's great to have both in your arsenal, and lightning bolt is probably easier to not murder your friends with.
that's probably for the best.
Whereas like fireball, definitely going to get the job done, but it is the nuclear option.
And I also have spell twinning, so the thing is, I could send sorcery points instead of having 1 lightning bolt. I could have 2 in 2 different directions.
Sorry, Cole. I stepped away for just a second from my computer. And if you open up your character sheet, in the upper right-hand corner, you should see experience points. If you delete the 2700 that's there and type in 6500 and hit enter, you should get the crossed weapons icon. If you click that, it'll take you into the character mancer level up thing, which will basically navigate you through the process. I think for a druid, you're probably only picking spells, but let me look it up. I think most casters really just have access to a 3rd level spell at 5th level. The extra attack classes get their extra attack, but that's not you.
Or do I get do the really
Or do
I do the really sick joke and take tidal wave?
Too soon, too soon.
I feel like it'll probably end up being a mistake, but there's no reason why I shouldn't take animate dead.
What could go wrong?
Nothing could go wrong. I got some ideas in the library.
Intriguing.
Oh yeah, I have 5 sorcery points now instead of 4.
As what's different about what did the character mancer teach you?
So the way that the character mancer does this is it implies that I have 7 spells that I know. And then I have 2 extra spells that I know because I'm a zappy cleric. And what I'm reading here is that if I've read this right, I actually know all of the spells.
Yes, you as a cleric, you know all spells on the clerical list, and then each
Yes.
morning at dawn, or whatever predetermined time is appropriate for your religion, you prepare those 7 spells for the day.
Right. And then on top of that, I have the domain spells that I just
That are always prepared.
always have ready to
Correct.
cast. Because of the way the character mancer put it, I was under the impression that those were the 7 spells that I knew.
Well, then you just learned a lot more spells.
I did. And I spent the last 20 minutes stressing about what spell I was going to learn.
I actually only have a very set amount of spells, so that's just me.
The problem is going to be linking the spell that I want to use when I want to use it.
Yeah,
right? Because the spells that I click I learn are the ones that populate on my character sheet.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people build fairly traditional kind of loadouts, for lack of a better word, making only marginal changes based on what they're expecting to encounter that day. But you can use those little red orbs to check spells that are prepared versus just spells that are in your loadout but not being prepared for today.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm out of the character mancer
for sure.
I'm out of the character mancer, so if you want to look at my character sheet, try.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
Look at my spells and see the double darkness and the 2. Because I should have 3, theoretically should have 3 level 2 spells available plus darkness. But I have darkness twice. And that doesn't seem right. And if I could change anything, I would just take darkness out of the level 2 spell and then just add mage armor to level 1. Because I think I can do that, right?
Yeah, it's actually done. Well, it hasn't updated yet, but it should be done.
Well, the mage armor thing hasn't done, but you did take darkness away.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I'll pretend I have mage armor there, I guess.
It is. Hold on, let me just close out. It's doing that thing, maybe. I feel like I don't want to keep doing it because I feel like at some point you're just going to end up with 6 iterations of Mage Armor.
That would be funny.
Is there any reason you can't learn Mage Armor? No, it's a sorcerer class spell.
It was in the list earlier.
Yeah, it's really not accepting it. That's all right.
So,
I have the power of overruling it.
so something I just kind of realized. I just remembered like why I always kind of like just wave the open hand for monk. And it's just because it hits things really hard.
I just put it in manually. How does that work?
I will close my character sheet and reopen it and hope it's appeared. I will reload. Roll 20, just cause
Poor Lav.
my character sheet is borked.
Cole, let me pull up your character sheet and we can talk through some stuff together. Yeah, what Feisty's saying is important. I think the character sheet will automatically update it, but your proficiency bonus across the board increased by 1 for everybody. So all of your attack roll, skill checks, everything dependent on proficiency just got 1 better.
Oh, that's nifty.
Yep.
So I'll be even better at persuading people to do stuff. Am I charismatic in the real to do it? No, but my character sure is.
All right, Cole, I'm looking at your spell tab. Did we? Oh, do you still have the character mancer open? Okay.
Mage armor's there. It worked.
When you good. When you click on the level up, it should. I think you've already got the selecting average for hit points. Then it'll tell you class features, and you'll skip through. Basically, there's nothing for you to do until you get to the spells tab. At which point it will let you remove a spell and add a spell because it's level up. But otherwise, you get to add 1 spell to your prepared spells for the day. You're kind of like a cleric in that you know technically all of the druid spells, but you're just picking the set number that you're going to prepare for today. And because this is the first level you'll have access to 3rd level spells, you get to, prepare, air quotes, 1 more spell at any level. So I think you probably, conventional wisdom is that you pick a 3rd level spell. But like I said, it can be of 1st, 2nd, or 3rd level. It's just ostensibly 3rd level is going to be more powerful or more impactful, so it's best to spend that early and pick up more utility stuff somewhere down the road. And you'll have you gain 2 slots at that spell level. So the 1 3rd level spell that you know or prepare every morning, you'll be able to cast twice. Does that make sense? Oh, that's fine. We can fix it from here. If you just tell me what 3rd level spell you want, we should be able to manually drag it from the compendium onto your character sheet. And there's no pressure if you want to take a few minutes and read some stuff and make a decision. Actually, let's use this time to take our 5-minute break if anybody needs to use the restroom or grab a water or something.
That's a good call.
And
Sounds good to me.
Cole, take this 5 and finish reading up on spells. If you have come to a decision by the time the 5-minute break is over, let me know and I'll throw it in. Otherwise, I'd like to get back to the game a little bit and we can just kind of add your spell on the fly, or even next week if we have to. It won't break anything. All right, be back in 5, guys. Thanks.
Cool. can't believe things happen between the start, the middle, and the end.
Right?
Does
Tragic.
anybody have any chloroform?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Smell this. Make
Excellent.
sure it's chloroform.
Might be.
Don't mind if I.
Just doze off.
So,
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
I'm back as well. I think we're all here. I'm just trying to add Wind Wall successfully to Petrichor's character sheet, which I think I've done. But I can't be certain. It
Can't
looks like
you?
it worked. I can be certain now. I couldn't then. That's the benefit of time.
Did you find a shortcut, or was that copy and pasting?
It was
the whole
copy
thing?
paste.
Oh man.
It's not ideal, I'll give you that. I don't have a ready check button. Is everybody back? I guess tell me if you're not back.
Feisty? The only one waiting up?
You were AFK for ready check.
I'm here.
Nice. But
So maybe Cole's back, but is his internet back?
Yeah, he's chatting. I don't know that he's talking, but he's at least typing. So we have proof.
For
of
the
life.
record, I've never left. Hello.
hello.
I did. I was fitting my fake teeth.
Your fake teeth. What?
Yep.
You have fake teeth?
Is
I
it
have a plan.
something monstrous?
That's something witchy.
Something witchy.
Ooh. Are you gonna be a vampire?
That's not witchy.
I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was being stupid.
Okay.
My costume is totally kid friendly. Oh, like a pedophile?
Hold up, what?
That was horrible. I just put in the fake front teeth, my buck teeth. So.
That's cool.
Oh, I do remember. I think you were gonna be from Hocus Pocus, right?
I put a spell on you.
Yes, I remember that now.
You're gonna be one of the
Yeah.
witches from Hocus Pocus? Hell yeah.
Not one of the
Bette
witches.
Midler witch whose
the
name
I don't
know.
witch.
Yeah.
Ah. You're right. I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah, I paid a friend to like let out the costume for me so that it fits, even though I ordered the largest possible size for it that I could find. And I will be posting. I can tell you guys the surprise because you're not coming to my party.
Oh man, spoilers.
But I paid another one of my friends who's a baker and a cake designer to bake 3 cakes, each decorated after one of the sisters.
Is it Colizio?
No, he lives in Texas, not California.
I'm just saying, I only know 2 bakers, and he's one of them.
Everyone is
But
back.
she's doing character cakes for each of the 3 witches, and yeah, I'm actually having a really good time, and I'm only having 2 people over, so I'm just like, I'm going all out for 2 fucking people.
It's more for you.
Damn right, it's for me.
All right, guys. Everybody's back. I think we've got a wind wall squared away. Does anybody have any level up questions? Or I think we got through it pretty well.
Yeah.
Why am
I
I
was about
such
to
a
ask-
Why am I such a glass cannon?
That is see also sorcerer.
You're right, but also
Have you tried casting?
I have a constitution proficiency. I demand more HP.
Have you tried casting mage armor?
Well, now that it's in my spell book, and it's one of something I always knew. Wink, wink. Totally wink, wink. I have it now.
Sure,
Nice.
just wasn't 2 iterations of darkness.
Instead of having 2 iterations of darkness, you are correct, which was completely useless.
You know that I'm gonna design a boss encounter now where 1 darkness isn't enough. We need double darkness.
I want to fight a warehouse.
I can twin darkness. Excuse you, sir.
And someone will be like, "Oh, well, I guess cast mage armor."
Oh my god. Soon we'll need a D&D mug.
Soon there will be a D&D mug.
There will be.
Do you know if sorcerers get another meta magic later on, or should I just read that actually?
7 maybe, and then 13, or 9 and 15. I think you end up with 4 total meta magic selections.
At 10 and 17. Okay,
Oh.
cool. So that's when I get to shape my spells, and then I can have a lightning bolt that moves around the entire party and then doesn't hit any of them, but then somehow also curves in all different directions and hits everybody on the map.
It's gonna look real cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll fix it in post production.
Lightning bolt with a lilt.
It's like try, and you're gonna be like, "What?" I'm gonna be like, "Quick!" I'm gonna be like, "Shape the spell," and you're gonna be like, "Oh God!" I'm gonna be like, "I hit everything." You're just like, that's not how that works.
Little cell shaded aluminum foil bands to just kind of like stretch into lightning bolts.
Yeah, exactly. PK Thunder. PK Thunder.
I assume we're gonna have to do the same thing with Animate Dead that we did with the Bag of Tricks for me, because I apparently love having so many minions.
All right.
Oh boy,
yeah.
they're gonna all be badgers. They better all be badgers.
I mean, I think
Undead
it kind of
badgers.
depends whether or not we've killed a bunch of badgers, but
Well, one of
we
them's a
find
child, so
a badger mass grave.
There's always a badger mass grave on the battlefield.
What
How
terrible
does this
evil
work?
befell these poor creatures? It appears to be a giant badger mass grave.
That reminds me of shit you can pull in 3.5 and having infinite strength.
Yep. All right, Opie, this is the day we've been hoping for.
Oh my god.
Rise, minions.
Ooh, does Opie get stats and stuff?
When he's a real boy.
I mean, like, is he going to be like a fighting companion? Because he's out for revenge.
What if Opie actually can use magic?
You know what? That's between me and Opie whether he's gonna fight.
Also, question: how much gold do we have between each of us? Or are we doing that as a collective fund?
Is Opie one of the Skyrim children where he can't die?
Yes.
So we're gonna send him in the battle, right?
I would. That's what I was afraid of.
No.
There might be traps in this hallway. Opie!
All right, Opie, I need you to take this dagger and go stab that dragon 1,000 times.
Uncle Leo wants you to go find the trap again. Can you do that for me, bud?
I hate
All right, Opie, we're gonna play a favorite game. It's called Eat the Baby.
Why would you send me into the traps again?
My maternal instincts say, "Fuck
Don't
all
kick
y'all."
the baby.
Don't kick the baby.
So on that question, we had a collective fund for the money, or are we spreading it? Yes.
I mean,
What are we doing?
like I
Strap
said,
a cannon on him?
You two sorcerers were talking about how you need an absurd amount of cash.
Yeah, we're all just gonna do
Well,
it.
there's
donate our money
actually
to the
only one
sorcerers.
sorcerer in the party. Actually, to be honest, there's a wizard and a sorcerer.
And a druid too.
There is a druid. There's also a cleric.
Magic.
Yeah,
ain't
we don't
cheap.
talk about him.
I talk about him. That cleric has saved my life 3 times now. He's a good little boy. And so has this weird halfling. He's got a weird infatuation with me. I don't know if I should just be able to talk to him.
I guess it depends on whether or not you're a height supremacist.
I don't know.
Nobody in this party is. Nobody's over 5 feet.
It lasts.
I'm
Excuse
over
me.
5 feet. Excuse you.
Excuse me, I am 5'5".
In real life,
Oh, boy.
Hold on. How high am I?
Very high.
I'm the
At least
tallest
5
person in the
kilograms.
party. I'm the tallest person in the party. My character's 5'8".
Aw.
Okay. Fair
You're
enough, I guess.
On
You're as
bite
tall
size.
as me,
How
so I guess
tall
we're
am I
both the
again?
tallest.
Hmm.
I like how our mages are the tallest people. Poor people.
The
It
looming
was funny
mages.
to just arrange everybody by height. Like, we do have a short, 2 short, 3 short, 4. Oh my goodness, we are mostly tiny people.
Does that mean
Our group is
Lav
so weird.
does that mean
Everyone
Lav and
looks
I are
kinda
like the
like
parents?
Oh
that's
god,
how
I think that
strangers
is
must look
true,
at it, yeah.
actually.
Can you imagine
Swear
seeing
to
like
God,
a
their
ragtag
oldest son
group
has a full beard.
of midgets?
We're a really weird family.
Yeah.
Very weird, absolutely.
Hey Lav,
After,
Yeah.
in our small talk earlier, do you think it came up that we both grew up in Pendilor, or not yet?
Probably.
Okay.
I can't see why not.
Do you think we swapped orphan stories?
Probably.
Cool.
That's what orphans do, right?
Yeah, that's what all orphans do.
Something like that.
Where were you born, Nom?
I was born in a library.
talk about
Actually,
I was born on the
I wasn't
battlefield.
born in a library, but that's all I remember. My mom was a bitch though.
Good lord.
Oh wow.
Alright, after leveling up, you guys get a good night's sleep. In the wee small hours of the morning, you rise and join the council, Liza and Amara, who wait for you at the Ring of Elderstones. If you guys are ready to embark, she's prepared to initiate the rite.
I am ready to embark, Queenie.
So what does this feel like? Can I ask her?
She smiles at you and says, "There's not much pain,
Okay.
although you are quite smaller than I." She smiles and winks, telling you she's just kidding with you. She says it should be no more difficult for you than walking between rooms. Once present, Amara asks each of you if you're prepared. Once you say yes, she begins an elaborate incantation that causes glowing runes on the stone floor to flicker to life. When she finishes, a deep vacuum sound fills the garden area, and there is a flash of light as energy coalesces into a vertical pool. Through this doorway, you can see a broad mountain looming over a valley with a rising sun in the sky. Distant beyond that, just above the horizon, something looms, floating in space. Amara turns to you all, nodding knowingly. "Eros, the floating city," she says. "Take care." As you each step through the gateway, you are transported across a vast distance, arriving in a similar grove that has its own ring of elder stones with glowing runes that differ slightly from those on the Pendilorian side. You are now at the border of the realm of Aethervale, and but a short 12-mile journey to Lowtown.
Exciting.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be the best. I cannot wait for you to get there. Oh, you guys get to see my cave. Oh, good. Oh, I didn't clean. I'm sorry.
It's okay, bud.
Did I bring the cart with Leslie, or do I leave it behind?
I'm going to assume that she stayed behind, but you can have it if you want it.
I'll leave it behind then.
You left a party member behind? You do
Is
not
that-
split the party.
I mean, I
Hit
guess
off
that's
a
true.
lot.
If Colt
gold on
cocoons again,
that.
where are we going to put him?
That's true.
I thought the whole purpose was that shit comes with
I'm
us.
gonna bring my cart if
Okay.
I can.
Bring our gold?
Yeah. Bring our gold!
Yeah, please.
You're able to fit Leslie and the cart, the portable forge, and all through the gateway, narrowly singeing some of the edges. It seems that stuff that doesn't neatly fit through the event horizon is destroyed.
Oh shit.
Kelly,
I'm sorry about your extra clothing.
Whoops. Kig and Zaz, this area of the world is very familiar to both of you.
Oh yeah.
Zaz, you lived here. Kig, you've worked in and out of this area, and this is also the rough area where you guys met for the very first time. Given as
He
this
meant
is
my
kind
rub,
of
but yeah.
given as this is kind of your backyard, would either of you like to take point in navigating the group towards Lowtown?
Oh, Zaz is, and for the first time in a little while, is really excited, just rambling about all of the cool places to see in Lowtown.
I like that.
Ooh, tell me more.
And it's like, it's not even a coherent thought. It's like, oh my gosh. And you get to see my favorite bar. It's the Toad and the Foal. They have this really big statue of a toad and a really tiny statue of a foal. And oh, my favorite place to hide. It's the place under the central trash pile where the best stuff falls. That's also my favorite place to scavenge. You cannot believe it.
Leo is intently listening.
This goes on for about 12 miles.
Reed is also like very taken in by Zaz opening up, and the excitement is just attuned to every word.
Zaz, you're leading this party. Why don't you make a survival check for me with advantage, because you are quite familiar with this area. It's just navigating around some local hazards, taking less obvious roads if you're trying to deliberately keep a low profile here.
Yeah, Kig is trying to keep a low profile. I'm like in the back, hiding behind Leo.
Are you
I would
in
like
the
to
cart?
bypass that.
That's possible.
I'd like to bypass that role with this background. So I have an excellent memory of geography.
Nice. Yeah, you have, as though you were tracing the lines on the back of your hand, you know exactly how to get to Lowtown. Several ways, in fact. You offer a scenic route, the river route, over the mountain pass, where the billy goats gruff go. Eventually,
the
like,
pass we
the
go.
group is kind of just paralyzed by choice and just defer to you making the choice. You take the...
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
This is my favorite bush to pick berries. Oh, there's berries.
Love it. You guys walk following Zaz's instruction for many miles. The sun's now high in the sky, almost noon. You can still see the floating city of Eros. It seems to be growing ever closer, ever larger as you continue to trudge along. After you hike over the tallest of the hills that this winding river sort of serpentines through, Zaz stops everybody and points ahead, where everything here has been bright and vibrant and luminous and greens and deep cerulean blues in the water. In this valley beneath the flying city of Eros is this dark, almost dead canyon. The sun barely ever touches it. It's created a dead spot where natural vegetation doesn't seem to grow anymore, and the city below, you can see just tons of trash fires, dark plumes of black smoke coming from out the city. This is Lowtown, and it seems to live up to its name.
This is awesome.
Zaz is still excited.
As you draw closer, you can see dozens of tall buildings reaching into the clouds, the alabaster and white marble of the construction of the city of Eros gleaming in reflective sunlight. Several torrents of water stream down from exposed pipes along the crenellated wall that surrounds this floating city. Free and motionless in the sky, Eros seems unreal, or at least unbelievable. By stark contrast, the valley and crater beneath Eros is dark, tarnished, and littered with the discarded detritus of the city above. Lowtown, as it is known, has grown in the shadow of this great city. Little vegetation grows here, and small buildings have been erected from whatever falls down. Its inhabitants, like its materials, are a flotsam of undesirable outcasts who have no other home. Lowtown is the beginning and end of many journeys.
Yeah, but listen, there's this great place that if you stand right near the northern border of the city, you can listen to this pretty lady sing and play harp. It's the best. I go there like every night. Sometimes I swear she's looking at me.
Fella like you. The reason that, if you recall, Queen Gwendolyn alluded to someone having a contact here in the city that might be able to help you in your journey to Eros.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Was it Zaz?
No, Zaz lives here, but he's never, to my knowledge, been up to the city.
Oh, no. They only let me up to the city for if I have a job, and then I have to promptly get out because I am small and I smell bad, according to them. But it's really, I just want to
Is
go
it
up.
Kig? Is it Cal?
No.
Is it Leo?
No.
Kig has been up there for sure.
No.
Maybe they could chime in,
No.
whoever it is.
Well, I guess we could start our inquiry to see if there's a easy, accessible way up by canvassing the Toadenful. It's a well-known drinking establishment.
Is there telephones in this in this world?
Telephones? Cell phones or landlines?
Is there a way to contact someone discreetly?
There is only fax machines. It
Oh.
is an unfortunate
The
evolution
most-
of technology.
And they're all very loud.
There are a couple of ways to do it. There are things called sending stones that are magic items that basically function like walkie-talkies or cell phones. There's
Mhm.
also the sending spell or message. There are a number of ways to accomplish that. Yes.
Oh, I don't have any of those. Okay, unfortunate.
All right, guess we're going to the Toadenful.
Great.
Nice.
This is seriously, Zaz looks like he is marching through town
Alexis
In
looks very
this-
uncomfortable to
I-
being
I,
close to the city.
in this horrible Fallout hellhole.
I asked Zaz if there's a place where we can, there's any stables in town, or outside of town, or anywhere clean.
Oh well, there are places to keep your animals, and there are places to leave your animals for people to take, and there's a lot more of the second one. If you, oh, you can leave them in my cave. That's fine. Yeah, yeah, you can leave them right outside my cave. It'll be perfectly safe.
Okay.
Since Reed tends to get along really well with common folk, I'm gonna go ahead and start asking around.
Only if you promise to do it as "Greetings, fellow common folk. I myself am a general man of the people."
That makes me feel like they're not gonna like help me.
Absolutely. That's great.
Greetings, fellow commoners. How are you today?
So
What
Kig-
about our local sports organization and our blue collar employment?
Oh, do tell about that. Oh, wait, I must get distracted. I do believe we're looking for a way up into the city in the sky. Could you
Yeah.
help us? Is anyone here?
Asking all of the drunks at the Toad and Full, they just kind of chuckle. "Oh yeah, no, there's gonna be a sky bus along shortly. It'll take anybody up who wants to go. You jag off! Look at this guy!" And they all laugh. One person even sort of musses your hair like they might a child.
That's not very hospitable of you. Kind of turn away.
The
Little
bartender says, "Don't mind them. They're always drunk by this time of day. Hell, they're always drunk by any time of day. What brings you to Lowtown? You strike me as a man who has options." Stifles a little laughter.
Not all options are always the most desirable ones. Sometimes you need a little adventure. But today, specifically, we're looking for transport up into the sky.
She eyes you, almost like weighing you like a merchant might, and says, "I don't know how to put this delicately, so I'm just going to say it. You've got too much money to live here, but not enough money," pointing up, "to live there. So what's your game?"
I'm like, crap, how much did I actually pay attention? I do my best to relay the relevant information, seeking, what our party seeks.
The Athenium, huh? Nobody gets in there without an invitation.
That's it. The
You'd have to
Athenium.
know somebody, or know somebody who knows somebody, or know somebody who's got a ton of money, or know somebody who knows a way to get up there. There's always a way up there.
Well,
She,
guys, anyone have any ideas?
As you're talking, she's waiting for eyes to not be on her, but once she feels like she's not being observed, she's motioning with her face to a large, muscled woman sitting in the dark corner drinking by herself, clad in leather. The bartender says again, any number of people might know how to get up there. You just have to know who to ask, or you have to know someone, or know someone who knows someone. Again, staring at the woman in the corner.
Oh, well, you know what? I think I understand your meaning, and I'd like to thank you for my time, and I toss her a silver.
Yeah, I think we should leave, guys.
She
And,
catches it and bites it, and determining that it's real, flashes you a genuine, honest smile that seems almost painful to her, like she's so unaccustomed to smiling.
And then I turn around and subtly make my way to that rather robust woman she indicated.
Kig, I need you to make a perception roll.
Kig doesn't want to go over there.
That sucks for you.
Sucks to suck, Kig.
Kiggs makes a perception roll.
Kind of nudge King, like maybe we should go over there. Anyways,
Kig's
Uh,
very reluctant.
Kig, you are kind of hiding behind Leo, as you have been this entire journey since we've crested the hill and saw Lowtown, and that behavior is starting to not go entirely unnoticed by your traveling companions. You watch as Reed approaches a tall, well-muscled woman and begins talking with her, and at that moment, your traveling companions ask you what's wrong, and they see that you're intently staring at that person. And in a weird moment of synchronicity, at the exact same time they ask if you know her, you can hear Dax making introductions, and she says, and you say at the same time, Jet. She's introduced herself to Reed as Jet, and Kig, your heart sinks a little bit, for you know Jet to be one of the most reliable and dangerous bounty hunters in the employ of Mumbles. Everyone else watches as
It's a pleasure
Kig
to meet you, Jet. It's a lovely name.
shrinks and hides behind Leo, and Reed begins talking to this woman who, when she stands, is 4 foot taller than he is.
damn.
He's literally forehead to belt buckle.
Unwavered by her height, I just continue.
What do you want?
We are trying to seek passage up into the city above. Perhaps you may be of some assistance.
Little fella like you, I could probably throw you up there.
Well, I admit that might be a fun adventure to partake on. Is there any safer means by which I may reach my destination?
She, you notice, it's not aggressive, but she's got her hand on her belt to look like she's just, kind of casually relaxing, but where her thumb rests is just next to the hilt of a large, thick dagger. Who told you to ask me?
Oh,
Definitely not me.
Why would I know anything about anything?
I like how Kiggs is just like, let's just not talk to her. Let's just go somewhere else.
I just push on through. I'm like, well, I just noticed you here in this tavern, and you seem like a knowledgeable sort.
Yeah, a regular scholar, me. How much coin you have?
Not many.
I do have some gold. Will this trip be costly?
Exceedingly so. How many in your party?
I look around and indicate my party as far away as they are.
Minus Kig.
That would be 9, I
Also,
think,
I
including
can't count.
Opie.
So 9.
Zaz
Add a
probably should
card.
be the point man from now on.
Hey, Try.
Yes.
When I was talking with Opie later, was I able to divine what he might be trying to get revenge for at all?
No. He on the journey here has no idea what you're talking about and doesn't seem to possess the kind of intelligence that you would expect a boy of 12 to have. It seems like his thought processes are somewhat diminished or retarded. Like he has the mental capacity of a much younger child, and every time you ask him about his purpose, he grabs the open head wound on his forehead like it's causing him pain.
Interesting. Okay, thanks.
Full admittance, I'm not great at roleplay. Anyone who would love to step forward and actually assist, please do so.
She says to you, so nine in total, 9 bodies. I'm gonna need names, and I'm gonna need 500 up front.
Zaz is going to step in because this is kind of a train wreck. Whoa, listen, tall lady. You know fully well we don't do names, and unless you're getting an official contract, you're not getting any money for a good long time, at least not until we set our feet on those floating stones.
I like how Zaz is now from Brooklyn.
Yeah, a little bit.
She slaps with this giant, like, meat fist of a hammer down on Reed's shoulders. Good thing you brought your treasure, goblin.
Nope, that's me.
Good God, how many of them are you? She's looking
You don't
around,
wanna
lifting up
know.
her boot like there might be scurrying rats. Fine, sit down and we'll talk in earnest.
Can't the character just play himself sometimes?
What's Kig doing right now?
I'm still hiding. Or trying to like lower my presence.
I'm gonna
got history
pull a
with these
solid.
people.
I'm gonna pull
That's all I'm gonna
a
say.
kick a solid. I'm gonna pull a kick a solid, and I'm gonna know exactly where he's at, and I'm gonna grab the scruff of his whatever clothing he is, and I'm gonna drag him to the table.
What are you doing?
I was gonna do the opposite of that, and I was gonna lead him outside and ask him what the heck's going on.
Okay,
No, I very much dragged Kig to the table.
I summoned
Make
some
a strength
popcorn.
check. Because I imagine Kig will attempt to resist.
100%.
So I
Strength
guess
check?
athletics opposed by acrobatics.
Okay.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh. Trying to act in what she believes is your best interest, you are shocked and appalled as Alexis just grabs your arm and says, "We just have to confront things head on. I don't know what you're doing, but it's time to start getting in this game." And she drags you forward, and you pull and you struggle and you try to whip and you try to flip and you try to squirm, but she's surprisingly strong for an elf woman. And that's when you're left with no recourse. You bite her in the arm. She screams and releases her grip, and you slink back to hiding behind Leo, keeping Leo between you and a wall.
I swear he doesn't have rabies.
Ow. Everyone in the bar is now eyes off of food and beer onto the scream and what they assume is about to be ensuing bar fight.
I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna grab both of them and drag them outside.
I'm gonna follow with my bag of popcorn.
Nice. So Zaz and Reed, you guys stay with Jet at the table here, and I guess everybody else will say where you want to be. We've got a split party situation again. So outside, Leo has picked both of you up by the scruff, if you will, and taken you both outside, sets you down, and just sits between you like a paternal figure.
And I'm just gonna be like, so what's the deal here?
God, what is your issue? Why you do this to Kig?
Because sometimes
Kig, we got shit to do.
Listen, I have had business with these people in the past.
Uh-huh. And
And need you know more?
clearly.
Was it good business? Was it bad business?
Good, bad, I don't know what you want to call it. The boss was not.
Kid, you need to work with us here. We need to know what we're about to deal with.
So this
Basically,
person, Jet,
if this is a bad idea, you need to tell us now so we can go do something else instead.
it's not a bad idea.
It's
the
not the
only
bad
way
idea.
up to the city. The only way.
The only way, huh?
This person, Jet, she works for someone far, far more scared.
Oof.
It scares me. And I am King the Sword.
All right, Mr. Dagger. I see what you're doing.
Sir Trident.
I definitely appeal to his ego and be like, yeah, you're King the Sword. So if this guy's scaring you, that's something to be real afraid of. But I say it in such a flat tone that it's like I'm definitely not like believing it.
I once had a great mission to go up there, return with some goods that would make many people very happy, including this top dog. I do not wish to speak her name. But I was not successful, and I was thrown off the city. And this is actually how me and Zaz were to come to. Zaz helped me out. I never returned, and I do believe she is quite. So I'm a little reluctant to talk to this Jet. Really wish to not give my name.
I guess I'm gonna turn to Kel and be like, so you still have that disguise kit?
Oh yeah, I do.
So you still have some of that popcorn? Because I'm kind of hungry.
Oh yeah, I also share the magic popcorn.
All right, we're gonna go back inside for a second. Petrichor wants to try to talk with Jet and appeal. If see if there's somebody else who'd be willing to help. Pursuing that line of thinking, she says, "There's only one person who can get you where you want to go, and I can arrange that meeting, but you better be prepared to pay." Sorry, there's a lull. Poor Cole has to type.
On the out of character side, I'm really wishing I had fly right now, because this would make this a lot easier.
I mean, I could just like sit at the end of Leo's manville, and he can swing it.
Yeah, definitely.
I could, yeah.
I don't.
How
know
high
if
is
you,
the city?
It's like 600 feet up.
Oh yeah, I can do it.
Oh yeah, not a problem. Anything under a quarter mile, I don't even have to roll.
I'm only 28 pounds.
Guys, can we calculate escape velocity real quick? I don't want to overdo this. You could certainly try seduction or just being overly charming.
Oh God, is he a druid of the spores? Because that'd be hilarious. Because I've got a friend who plays a druid of the spores, and he just has mushrooms growing on him, and he tries to seduce and fuck every potion which he finds.
Persuasion roll, Cole, from your character sheet, is your character just being sweet as honey.
Oh, quite the opposite.
Oh no!
You do your best of being charming and flirting with her, kind of just, turning the charm meter to 11. And at one point she draws in very close, almost uncomfortably close to your face, saying like, "All the charm in the world doesn't change the math that only one person's gonna get you up there. But you want to have a few drinks and see how this turns out, I'd be game."
Jet's easy.
Zaz is going to step forward.
My, what strong arms you have.
This is great, and I can't wait to see you stab him. But we do need to get up to the city. We're not going to do 500. That's ridiculous, and you know it. We 100 now and 100 when we get up there.
Contemplating. That seems fair to me. I'll have to take you, of course, to meet Mumbles. He runs Lowtown now.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Gather your friends. Let's go.
Sounds good to me.
Hey Kig, you want to disguise?
Definitely we should
Can we do
disguise
that?
Kig.
Zaz doesn't know any better and is going to proudly march out of the inn. And I don't know what's up with all the biting, but you would not believe this is going so much better than I expected. Guess what? All we have to do is go talk with the boss, and he's going to get us up, and we don't even have to get a contract to get a job in the city.
Kig, I need you to make a stealth check. As soon as Zaz comes out, Jet is in tow and scans the party that she's just going to take to meet Mumbles.
Yep.
Stealthily, you take like the cardboard cutout shape of Leo. As he turns, you turn. As he lifts his legs, you lift your legs. You are like perfectly drafting behind this stout dwarf.
I love it.
Kig, how tall
Totally
are you
avoiding
again?
my responsibilities right now.
All right. She starts winding her way down through the central streets of Lowtown, past a merchant bazaar. There's a bunch of pitched tents where people are selling junk. Some of it looks like really cheap produce grown under half a sun. Some of it looks like pretty reasonably fabricated weapons and tools. Some of it looks like exceedingly well-crafted materials that have been slightly broken or scuffed. This is probably the junk that Zaz told you about that sometimes rains down or is discarded from the city above. But it's sort of developed into this whole merchant area where people buy, sell, and trade stuff all the time. You walk past this market, and there's this warehouse-looking structure that seems to be, comprised of many different discarded materials. And she knocks on the door 3 times, taking like a 2-second pause between each knock, and an eye slit in the door opens. And she says, "I've got a couple for transport. They need to see the boss." The door opens, and you see 2 giantly muscled orcs standing on either side of the guard, and they eye each of you and say, "You're gonna have to deposit your weapons here," pointing at a large wrought iron cauldron in the floor. And as you guys step inside to the building, the door is closed behind you, and that's where we're going to close tonight.
Woo! Man, pressure's on Kig. Good lord. I'm like scared for my character right now. I don't even know what he's gonna do.
I was going to ask you as we go through the market. Can I scan the goods for any precious ores?
There is like all of the traditional ore you would find almost anywhere. There is a unique vendor that is selling. They are chunks like octagonal flagstones.
Okay.
That she claims are a material called orichalcum.
How much is she charging for them?
She wants 50 gold per octagon, but claims that the material is lighter than steel and harder than adamite.
Tell her I'll try to bargain with her and say I'll buy 3 for 100 gold.
She wants to know what you intend to do with it.
Craft some weapons.
Huh.
Most likely.
Fine, it's a slow day anyway, and she agrees to sell you 3 units of orichalcum for 100 gold.
Sweet.
All right, guys. I think that's a great spot for us to stop. Are we good for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be.
Cool.
2 weeks
Um,
is
The
the
13th,
13th. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think, if math is right. I don't know. Let me look.
Friday the 13th is
If
a good one.
I am correct in what's happening with me, I probably will not be here, as I will be going to LA.
Okay. The way you said that, should I be concerned?
Forever.
Just for the weekend, probably.
Okay, based on
No.
what's going on with